You can't make a living from soccer in that time. Money wasn't there, but life was good.
Frank Micic, you cannot measure what he has done for football.
To be mentioned in the same sentence as someone like Frank Micic is a great honour for me. Frank was a wonderful player and a great man.
Such a fantastic player. Outstanding on the ground. He looked better than anybody else. And he just become my idol.
He reminds me of Franz Beckenbauer. Influential, elegant, can defend and score at the same time. It was unique.
My first impression of Melbourne when I came in 1959. I didn't know what to expect. And it was strange for me. I lived in Italy for 2 years before I came here. And I was a young boy, but everybody kept telling me, especially Italian people, you are mad to come to this country and you play. I was doing really well in the lower division in Italy, in Naples. But I want to get away from Italy. I want to go to America. And that's what makes me come to Australia, because America was difficult to get. And I say, if I come to Australia, I will, from here I go to America. And I'm still here after 60 years. And I come here and I heard that I play a bit of soccer in Italy. And the club JUST heard about me. They said, look, we heard that you can play a bit of soccer. If you want to stay in Melbourne, I was relieved. And you can play, we find you a job and accommodation, and I'm still here.
Footscray was Frank Micic and Frank Micic was Footscray. He was like musician, did everything like Frank Sinatra in music, his way. Absolute unlimited talent with the long strides, unpredictable in everything he has done. And this is why I said if he was in Europe, he would be amongst elite of European players.
Frank sort of just would glide across the field. He was a defender, but was just so comfortable in possession of the ball. And me as a enthusiastic teenager trying to, catch them and kick them, I couldn't get near them.
You can't mark him. And he would bring the ball into opposing half in no time. And off we go, he's in defense in no time again. Or score the goal.
Elegant, his ball control was very, very good. I think his vision was unbelievable. He can pass the ball. He was always thinking what to do, how to go up front, what I can create, and what this ball can do for the team.
I think he was one of the best players in Australia at that time. He was a giant for JUST. He was in the national team and he was in the Victorian team at the same time. And I was lucky enough to play with him in the Victorian team towards the end of season 69. He's always smiling, always. And it wouldn't hurt to fly. He never tackled, I don't think. He's a bit like myself, never tackled. Just played with the head more than the hard stuff, He was a silky player. Good passer of the ball and just an all-round good player.
My senior debut was against Juventus, and Juventus was a top team that time in Victoria. And even in the newspaper, they keep saying they can give us a 3-goal start and still beat us. But somehow we clicked together and we beat Juventus 3-1. From there on, I played 18 years for JUST. Wasn't big money then, you still have to work. You couldn't live from the soccer, so I said to myself, what's the point changing clubs or go to Sydney, because I had all the friends in Melbourne. Another committee man, vice president, he was a builder, and he said, Frank, soccer is good, but you can't make a living. You have to learn trades. So he gave me a job in the building construction. You just keep bowling along and enjoy your game, and if you worry too much, you can enjoy. So money wasn't there, but life was good.
He loved the game, and he was the captain of JUST, and everybody looked up to him. And we as opposition, We're always thinking, what's Frank going to do? How can we play best against him and all that? There were awesome clashes between us and JUST.
Football needed people like Frank, and every step that he graced the field was appreciated by everyone that he played for or against. And not many players in the world have done that.
I was just really appreciative. He was just a wonderful man and so encouraging of me. And you know, I played for another club and in fact was doing my best to score goals against him, and so his team would lose. But there was no motivation for him to encourage me to be a better player. But he did, and he did that with a smile on his face. And he probably kicked me and had a smile on his face as well.
In the same time you play for Victoria, I play nearly 14 years non-stop. I was captain of Victoria for nearly 6-7 years. Second most covered player in Victoria. I was playing about 30 or 20 times. I play 60 times. So, yeah, but I play for myself. I enjoy, you know, we still have to work for a living. So, you know, it was good to get to Queensland, to Tasmania, to West Australia, even went to New Caledonia. That's, you know, things like that you couldn't get if you didn't play soccer, isn't it? To play a record time for Victoria, you know, was so many great players, and I was only a young boy when I came here, so, yeah, it was a good achievement. People respect you for that.
He was still in the state team when I made, you know, the state team as a 19-year-old, but I'll never forget the smile and what that brings. People that love what they do and can smile about it every day, yeah, there's something special about that.
Victoria was much tougher. It wasn't so physical, but you had Polonius who had 5 or 6 Polish players. You had Hellas who had unbelievable Greeks. You had Wilhelmina bringing players from Holland. George Cross that was very, very strong. Juventus, this and that. Every week is a World Cup match. Football in Victoria was unbelievable. That people don't understand. Even when I went to New South Wales and I played there and I was with them, Victoria had a better players. We had the better players here. For me, and I know that. And Frank, he was a leader of this state. He was the captain of this state, and he played one of the best teams. And you know, and the player that he was, well, what can I say? Such a fantastic player.
We won Doherty Cup. We played in Empire Cup with Footscray JUST together, and we played for the state team together. So we experienced that highs and lows at all levels. And '69 with Frank, I won state title, and our goalkeeper was sent off, right? And Frank steps in a goal. He should have a special statue in the Victorian Soccer Federation for services to the game like that over there, that ball there.
Off to Olympic Park, the magnificent stadium built for the Melbourne Games. This might well be the biggest crowd in the history of the ground. The capacity, 35,000, gives a warm welcome to the two teams, Manchester United and Victoria.
It doesn't matter where I play, you still enjoy, and you know, playing in Olympic Park where you couldn't fit the fly, that's packed stadium. You know, atmosphere was good.
This team contains no less than 8 internationals. As a draw card, there are promoted 3. Ground fairly buzzing with excitement.
I respect how they play, you know. Some other English team like Everton, they come here and they go typical English soccer, flat out, they don't give you a chance. Manchester was Dennis Law, Bobby Charlton, Georgie Best, you know, the great players in the world, and they play a bit of skill, you know. And that's what you enjoy.
Bobby Charlton, number 10, here in Melbourne for all to see. The master of the body square, perfect balance.
All the players in the team were Welsh international, Scottish international, English international. Really all the team were international players, you know. We give them a good game.
They might miss their captain.
Continuing with their policy in 1966, will support the first Italian team to tour Australia.
When I arrived here, you know, the first ever Italian team to come to Australia, and we were getting ready for that. And we were pretty excited, but we were pretty scared playing against Italian professionals. It's you'll be all right. I was scared. My first game, big crowd, Olympic Park. he was kind to everyone. You know, all he can do is ever tell you nice words and encouragement, and you know, he was that kind of person.
Remember, we played in a time when the pitches weren't great, the game was very, very physical. People were flying in, defenders got to kick attackers and attackers kicked defenders. But in and around that, he was gifted technically. In my memory, on both sides of his body, could pass the ball, could take the ball, kill the ball dead and pick another pass, and he was one of those players that was coming out of the air, he already knows where he's playing it. The game in Australia wasn't full of those players.
He was a poet, not football player. He played with his emotions, feelings, his visions, which you haven't seen in Australia.
Feeling to play Australia was great. In 1967, we went to South Vietnam. And Saigon, you didn't play on the ground like that. It was like a swamp. You can't control the ball, you have to just kick it and run. That's all you could do, and you have to adjust in any ground you play. Well, we heard in the distance at night, boom, boom, going on. After we played a game in Saigon, the government assured us that we can go visit Australian Army Wong Town on the coast. So we got a caribou planes, very small planes. Of course, you're sitting like that, you know, in a plane, and we fly very low. Very low. You can see, you know, ground, because if you fly too high, they can shoot you down. So we went on the coast of Vietnam, and we had a game friendly with our Australian Army, have a meal together. It was a great time, yeah.
He played 50 times for Victoria and only 8 times, I think, for the Socceroos. I was blown away by that, because I would have thought someone of his playing ability and character, that would have been a great pick for the Socceroos. If you'd have told me that he'd played 50 times for the Socceroos and 50 times for Victoria, I'd have gone, yeah, that sort of makes good sense.
Frank, I've got nothing but praise for him. Playing 54 times for Victoria, that's some achievement. So deserved of being in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
I have never ever come across talent in Australia like Frank. I think he would be one of the greatest talents ever graced the fields in Australia, and one of the nicest personalities, nicest people, nicest human beings, who would not have a single bone in his body that would not present honesty and love and affection or respect for a person.
Frank's also one of those people, I'd never heard a player, a coach or a fan had anything bad to say about the man. He was just so highly regarded. It's just wonderful to see the game here in Victoria, Football Victoria, nominate and induct Frank into the Hall of Fame. I think it's long overdue and very, very well deserved.
I'm very happy and proud to know him and to play with him and be with him. I really am. I'm as honoured as he is, because, and for me, like I said, it should be a long time ago. Maybe one of the first ones.
He's amazing in every sense. And I love him, you know, unlimitedly today. He's to me like brother. And that's what football does to us. Links the world, links the people through that beautiful ball. That ball is such a secret weapon for all of us.
When I think about the Hall of Fame, I think all the players I met playing for Victoria for nearly 15 years is terrific experience, isn't it? Really, you know, different nationality, Czechs, Polish, Russian, English, Scottish, Irish, is education. You mix culture, you learn from each other, and you will never believe that one Yugoslav chap gonna be best friend with a Scottish chap.